everyone. Welcome to Paizo Live, our monthly fireside chat style show where we bring our wonderful creatives on to tell you about all the wonderful games that we are working on at Paizo. I'm Maya, Paizo social media and community specialist.
And I'm Rue, Paizo's marketing and media manager. Now, before we get started and bring our creatives in, this is my chance to get to ask my coworker Maya some fun questions.
Oh, yes.
So before we get started, Maya, what games have you been playing lately?
So I had a really, really lovely time recently actually at PAX Unplugged. And if any of you in the chat were at PAX Unplugged, put in the chat because I want to know about it. I played with a bajillion of you. I lost my voice. It was a whole thing.
You did.
But other than PAX Unplugged, which was a really fun weekend, I have been playing with my Stray Kids coded Skazoo Tamagotchi. Literally.
I
Yeah.
love that you have a Tamagotchi that is like new.
I do. Yeah, it's from Stray Kids. I actually had him at Gen Con and he died because I was really busy and I did not feed him or clean his room at all, and he died. But I got new batteries after I came back from PAX Unplugged. I was like, okay, you know, like new winter, new me. So I got some batteries and I restarted my Tamagotchi, and he hatched, and it is Hanchi-sung, and he is alive. He is not dead. And I'm hoping that I will not kill him this time. I'm doing pretty all right. What games have you been playing lately, Rue?
On the board game front, I also went to PAX Unplugged, but I did not go for work, so I got to go around and like actually do things. And I got a game called Top Frog. And it's a board game where you are a frog, like you are collecting frogs to make the best stack of frogs.
Incredible.
And the reason that I bought it is because they were selling plushies of the frogs, and they have magnets in them so that you can stack the frogs, but they also have magnetic hats. So you can stack them and put them in little hats.
That is so incredible.
And that drew me in, and I was like, well, I can't just buy the plushies and not the game. So I also got the game, but it's also fun.
That is so cool. Yeah, there are so many good things going on related to that. Also, note to self to put magnets in my plushies that I crochet and somehow make this a reason.
Very good.
I barely need a reason to do that.
And then on the video game side, I have been playing a deck builder in Hell called Heretic's Fork, where you do tower defense, and you just there's a lot of things happening on the screen. It's great if you like lots of numbers on screens.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. Numbers on screen, like matrixy numbers on screens, or like math numbers on screens.
No, like it shows the damage numbers as your attacks are doing them.
Okay.
So
just you gotta be you're mentally doing math, but they're giving you the tools to do it.
Nice.
But yeah, cool.
And we will also, of course, get to ask our wonderful creatives what games they have been playing.
We will.
Speaking of, today's kind of a weird Paizo special, like Paizo Live, because all three of our topics are connected.
They are. Yes. Running theme.
Yeah. So
very cool.
We will be bringing on Luis Loza, the creative director of Rules and Lore, to talk about the new Pathfinder Beginner Box coming in 2026.
Huge cheers for the Pathfinder Beginner Box.
Leads into Troubles in Grace, which is a standalone hardcover adventure that I believe comes out either the same month or the month after, but I will correct myself on that.
We'll find out in the interview.
And then, if you want to go high level, if you want to keep going with your adventurers, James Jacobs is going to tell us about this fall's adventure path, which is also tied in. But I'm going to keep the title a secret until we bring James on.
Yes, we got to leave you guys wanting more in the worlds of Pathfinder. We have so much today and we also have spoilers for each of those segments. So there will be little itty bitty fun spoilers for the new adventure box, the new adventure. It's going to be great. It's going to be great. Final Paizo Live of the year. Rounding out the year, thank you guys so much for coming to Paizo Live today as we tell you about all these cool things. We're very excited. So why don't we kick it off? Let's get started and talk about the beginner box. So we'll go do that.
I will head into the ether and let you speak to Luis.
I will do that. I will see you and Luis very soon. It was immediate.
So soon.
Welcome, Luis.
Incredible.
Yeah, so soon.
We work magic here.
Yes. Oh, so welcome to our final Paizo Live of the year. Hurrah! Yay! Yay! And what games have you been playing, Luis? Why
What
don't you
have I been playing?
introduce yourself and then tell us what games have you been playing?
Hi everybody, it's me, the Luis Loza. I'm creative
One's
director.
asked, oh my gosh, is that Luis Loza? It is, in
The
fact,
Luis Loza.
the Luis Loza.
The creative director on the Pathfinder Rules and Lores team. I'm excited for our triply connected segments today. They're all connected by Pathfinder. Oh my gosh,
Yes, yeah.
incredible.
Pathfinder Triple Threat Week.
Yes. Hey, what have I been playing? I've been playing video games. Have you heard of these things? They're incredible.
I've heard of those things.
It's a new season in Marvel Rivals, and I'm excited to jump into Rogue from the X-Men later today. But I've been playing some new Elden Ring Night Rain DLC, which is fun. And then I also got into House Flipper pretty recently. And like you just clean up houses.
Oh, that sounds incredible.
Paint them, and then people come in and are like, "Hey, I need my house cleaned up." And it's in the vein of like Power Wash Simulator.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I was gonna ask if it's like Power Wash Simulator.
Yeah. So I don't know. Maybe at this point I might retire to just do that for the rest of my life.
Oh wow! Just flip houses, but not real houses. Just video game houses.
Just have a cozy time at home.
So much simpler and less risk of splinters.
There's fewer deadlines.
Yeah, way fewer deadlines. Absolutely. So we have brought you here to tell us about Beginner Box, the new Beginner Box. In case we have some folks in the chat who haven't seen or played our previous Beginner Boxes, can you break down like what the Beginner Box is and what makes it so special and incredible?
Yeah, there it is. Our previous Beginner Box, all the way back from the legacy days of Pathfinder 2nd Edition. Those of you who are familiar with Otari and things like that might know this thing. The Beginner Box is a starter product for anyone who is brand new, not only to Pathfinder, but RPGs in general. It's there to guide you along the way to learn how to play Pathfinder. It has a lot of material there that guides both players and GMs. We assume that this box is being opened up by a table of players who have not sat on either side of the GM screen, and we give you all the instructions you need to follow along and step by step as you're going through an adventure. Learn the game, learn the rules. We provide pre-made characters, so you don't have to worry about character creation. If you are wanting to do character creation, it also walks you through that process as well if you want to make your own characters. So you're ready to jump in on that at any time. And if you're just a person who's on your own who's wanted to check out Pathfinder, you can also crack this open. There is a solo kind of choose your own adventure style adventure that has a bit of the game mechanics, asks you to roll dice and stuff as well, so you can get a feel for the game. And by the end of it, you should have a nice little adventure under your belt. You will have leveled up and understand the game well enough that you could keep playing with just a beginner box, or if you want, then move on to our core rules and try out all the new classes and have fun with all the monsters and so forth.
Yeah, it really is a great way to get started. I hear about this a lot as the community specialist because I get a lot of emails from like high school or middle school TTRPG clubs asking, hey, I got a bunch of kids here and we want to play Pathfinder. How do we go about doing that? And we present them with the beginner box, and they will message me in like a month and be like, hey, we got this. We're learning Pathfinder. Everybody's having a really great time. Like, it's a really good way to pull new players in who are familiar, at least a little, with TTRPGs, or are not. Just want to like tell a story. I think even one of the clubs was just like the Storytellers Guild, I think was I can't remember the location, but yeah, if you just want to learn how to tell cool stories in the world of Pathfinder, this is a great way to do that.
I've run my younger siblings through it, and they had no idea what RPGs were, and they understood it pretty quickly.
There you go. So, yeah, awesome. So tell us about the adventure in the new beginner box. We've had the previous beginner box for a while now, and people are pretty familiar with it. So what's going on with the new one? Tell us about the new adventure.
Yeah, let's talk about Beginner Box Secrets of the Unlit Star. There it is.
Cover reveal. We're doing it.
Cover art by Wayne Reynolds. You might have heard of this guy. Up and comer in the art field. Beginner Box Secrets of the Unlit Star is our chance to just give people a different taste of the Beginner Box. The Beginner Box that you saw previously has been remastered. There was a remastered version of that. And that people are always buying that and trying that out. And it came time to, hey, do we just do another print run, or do we offer people a new opportunity to do stuff? Someone who has run the beginner box a couple of times may feel like they want something new, or this is just a different approach. We have two different tracks to jump on beginner box wise. So beginner box Secrets of the Unlit Star is a lot of the same material. It's all the same kind of introductory material. All the most of the rules that you'll see here are the same. The only thing is that we've changed up some of the offerings here. The classes are different. We have a different assortment of ancestries, and we've also changed the adventure and have taken feedback into mind as to what we can do to try to make this beginner box, which a lot of people love, and hopefully now they love it even more with the changes and feedback we've applied here.
Yeah, let's get into some of those changes, because we have had a lot of people who have played this and are just looking for something new. And this is great because you can still get started with Pathfinder, but you just have like a different flavor of adventure to get started with. So what are some of those changes? What else is different between the previous beginner box and the current one?
Sure. Well, the main thing is the adventure, where in this case we adventure through the Temple of the Unlit Star. It's a new location. You're no longer in Otari. You now start in the nation of Ustalav, and you have encountered this sunken temple to Desna, and it's still going to kind of take you through the same paces of introductory. You start very slow and learn very specific mechanics one by one as you're going on. So at first you learn how to do attack rolls, and then later you deal with ranged attacks, and then saving throws, and so on and so forth.
Get all the fundamentals in there
bit by bit, just like in the original beginner box. But now we wanted to make the story feel even a little bit more involved, and feel like a heroic, not like the previous beginner box wasn't its own heroic thing, but this one, we were able to consider a lot of extra material and give players a little bit of a sandbox to play with. The previous beginner box, there was a fair amount of linearity for a while, and once you got to the second floor, we let the reins loose. But we wanted to have that sandbox feel from the get-go. So now at the start of this adventure, very early on, the players find an artifact, the Unlit Star. This is what the name of the temple comes from. So once they find the artifact, and they're free to go around and explore the temple with the help of this artifact, which has been broken up into a variety of pieces, and the players have to collect the pieces before they're able to fully explore the entire temple. But those pieces are in a variety of different rooms, and the order that you visit these rooms is up to you, right? The players are given more control and more agency of that. And along the way, the players do encounter a different variety of monsters than the previous beginner box. We've had a lot more monsters that we've added to the game, and we wanted to just shake things up. There's still a lot of the classics here, so if you remember, the beginner box GM book at the end has a nice suite of monsters that you can play with. So you'll still see goblins and gargoyles and things like that. But we've also shaken up, the different creatures you can find. Like here we have the hag, which is an updated version of the sea hag from our monster core entry, right? This is using the new lore and new mechanics as well.
Yes, Sparrows 1968, you were right. It is a sea hag.
It's a sea hag, yeah. And the other big thing that we added is we wanted to add more social components, more social encounters to the adventure. So this is our friend Gorky. She is a leshy, a fungus leshy shopkeep that you can encounter at one point.
I love her.
And there is an opportunity for you to speak with Gorky, and
I'm gonna speak with Gorky
and have a little social encounter to maybe get cheaper prices from those potions she's selling. And there's other social situations as well that are intentionally built in with the structure necessary for GMs to run these social role-play encounters as well. So
she is just so incredible. Look at her little shoes.
So that was our chance to really expand the offerings of the adventure and make sure new players have had their toe dipped in all aspects of the game by the end of it as well.
And you mentioned new classes as well, right? So we've got new classes in this adventure box?
Yeah. Our previous beginner box offered our classic staple of cleric, fighter, rogue, and wizard. And this time we are shaking things up here. We're now offering the bard, the barbarian, the monk, and the sorcerer. So we've changed our spellcasters to go from prepared casters to spontaneous casters, which are just a little easier for people to understand and run with out of the gate. And then the monk and the barbarian are just a great way to represent the 3-action economy. Flurry of blows lets you get in a lot of attacks at once.
Oh, yes.
Fewer actions. And then the barbarian, you know what? It's very simple. The barbarian just lets you be big and strong, and people like being big and strong. And there are some people who want just a more straightforward play that comes from a barbarian. And we thought this was a great chance for shaking things up with the classes, and also to help people who already have the original beginner box, like, oh, now I have different material here. It's not like I'm rebuying like 90% of the same material as well.
And because you did switch over from the classics to these different classes, like, how did the team go about deciding which of these new classes to include?
Yeah, like I mentioned, the spell casting is a little simpler with the sorcerer and the bard, and it also means that we get to take a look at a cult tradition of magic rather than just arcane and divine. So it's another taste of a different type of magic. And the builds for the characters are based off the iconic builds that we use for things like Pathfinder Society and stuff like that. So something like Sione's build as a sorcerer is a little more blasty, for players who like that kind of stuff. But the bard build is more supportive, more teamwork oriented. So it gives a nice variety in terms of what we offer with that. And then, like I mentioned, barbarian, very straightforward for players. Yep. It's just very easy to understand. I'm big and I want to hit things with my big sword.
Yep.
And the monk is very mobile and offers opportunities for you.
Oh yeah, look at those picks. Those are great.
Move around differently. And here's our different assortment of ancestries as well. Nice. So the previous beginner box had a human, dwarf, and elf, which it still includes, but we've also added orcs and halflings to the offerings here.
Very nice.
A sorcerer, a monk, a bard, and a barbarian here.
This art is great.
Various ancestries.
I want all of these clothes.
They come with tokens, the pawns, excuse me, for players to use when they play. If they decide to make their own characters, if you want to make your own orc bard, we have this pawn right here that you see, so you can use it at the table.
Look at that coat.
Very good.
I'll play him for the coat alone.
Exactly.
That is truly incredible. Okay, and so today we have all these adventures that are all connected. Yeah. So how does the beginner box, the new beginner box, connect with the other adventures that we're going to talk about today?
So if you remember the previous beginner box, it took place in the town of Atari.
Yes.
And it had an overview of that town, and that kind of dovetailed nicely later into the Troubles in Otari module or adventure, excuse me, or the Abomination Vaults adventure path. Mm-hmm. We're doing the same thing here. Like I mentioned earlier, this is set in Ustalav. This beginner box has a brief section that looks at Ustalav and the town of Grace, which is featured later in the Troubles in Grace adventure that we're going to be talking about a little bit later. So we'll have a little preview of the setting for people. If you don't have anything else, you at least have enough that has a couple of adventure hooks to inspire new GMs, and you have a nice little starting town to work with. And those of you who are ready to move on will have learned about this town and then can go into Troubles in Grace and play in something that's a little familiar and ready to go for players who are ready to take that next step.
I gotta say, I love the juxtaposition of you saying nice little starting town next to like the scariest, bloodiest skeletons probably ever.
That's Ustalav, baby.
Yeah, we're just vibe. It's just a nice little quaint little place. The neighbors are all super nice and accommodating. They only get blood on their own lawns. Very strict HOA laws.
The other thing that you can do, if you already have the other beginner box, because of the fact that they are using the same kind of base rules within, you can mix and match classes from both boxes. So if you wanted to go back to Troubles Under Grace, the adventure in the first beginner box, but use the barbarian, you can grab the barbarian from that, have them play with the fighter and the wizard.
Oh, nice.
The fighter and the cleric, and move them here into the Temple of the Unlit Star. So there's a way to mix and match classes from both boxes for players who, let's say that those schools that have bought the beginner box, they could buy another one, and then they can just keep mixing and matching without having to buy too much more to add to that. So
yeah, or even if the schools reach out to me and they tell me about their TTRPG club and they email us at community@paizo.com, I can just send you both of them to support your school's TTRPG club, because that's what we do. We support TTRPG clubs at libraries and schools across, like, I think the globe, because I sent some to the UK last week. So across
everyone
the
should
entire
get a
globe.
chance to play great games.
Yes, they should. Everybody, no matter where you are.
Yeah.
All right. So we have, this all sounds super incredible, and now we get to the nitty gritty. You know, the sneaky what's it part. So please tell us one spoiler about the new beginner box.
About the new beginner box. Hey, let's look at some of the monsters that are coming. We have new monsters here. So yeah, like I mentioned earlier, we have a variety of monsters that have been added to the game over the years since the beginner box came out. And I thought we should play with some of these. I got to help write the Temple of the Unlit Star adventure, so I added some of these monsters here.
Thank you.
So we have down there's a element, the Ferris butterfly elemental from Howl of the Wild. Up there is, normally it's a magnetic gecko from Howl of the Wild, but this one is a lower level version called the magnetic skink. We have our twig jack, and then we also have monsters that are exclusive to the adventure. This is a shadow bat that it premieres in the Temple of the Unlit Star. So there's a lot of shadow theming going around in the adventure, and the shadow bat is brand new for players to fight against as well.
I would like to say that all 4 of these monsters look pretty friend-shaped to me.
Yeah.
To me personally.
Perfect. Great.
Yeah. So I'm ready.
How that goes down once.
Yep. I'll let you know. We will see. So yeah, we got a lot of great stuff coming up with this new adventure, this new beginner box. We really hope all of you all are looking forward to this, because we know it's been a long time coming, and the team has been working really hard on it.
Yes.
Yeah. Luis is like, indeed. And for good reason, because it is going to be a really, really good adventure to get you started with the next adventures that are coming up in Paizo Live. This is my segue. I will now pass it over to Rue, who will be interviewing Adam to talk about Troubles and Grace, and we will continue the story between all 3 of these adventures. So thank you for joining us, Luis.
Yes.
And we will see you all after a short break.
Welcome, friends, to the Greenwood Gala, where all the people of the forest, even talking animals like me, come together to celebrate everything wonderful about nature. We get to know each other, have fun, and respectfully share ideas. Here in the Verdurin Forest, the Treaty of the Wildwood protects nature. It lets our neighbors harvest a few trees, conserve the rest, and all in all keeps everyone peaceful, warm, and happy. This is a pleasant place full of wonder where everyone gets along. Wait, what's that? Well, I mean, the treaty keeps the arboreals happy, so they would never... Oh, nope, they look angry. Surely the Fae of the forest understand that... Oh, this isn't good. I can't remember the last time that... Oh no! Everyone needs to hold up for a minute. We can talk this through. Wait, no, not like that. Okay, the Verdurin Forest is always fun and cheery, but this is getting out of control. Get some negotiators. Meet with the lumberjacks and druids. Smile a bunch. No, this is not how we're supposed to negotiate. This shouldn't be happening. We're supposed to be gathering, sharing, having fun. And now, everyone's tearing apart the treaty. Maybe we need some new faces. Some fresh ideas. Someone who's gonna make things right. Hey, maybe some Wardens of Wildwood.
How many times have you heard or asked the age-old question of RPGs? Can I roll to seduce the dragon? Now, with Pathfinder Monster Match, there's no rolls required. Just dates, gifts, and the luck of the draw. With 20 monstrous potential partners, 40 dates to take them on, and a selection of gifts to sweeten your chances, you might just find the perfect match. But be careful. Take a monster on a date they despise and risk burning your budding romance before it can bloom. Pathfinder Monster Match is a light, competitive party game for 2 to 6 players. With only 30 minutes, including setup, you can take your monster match on the date of their dreams or nightmares. Pathfinder Monster Match, now available.
Hello, Adam.
Hello, Rue. How's it going?
I'm great. How are you today?
Doing all right.
Would you mind introducing yourself for any folks who don't know you?
Hi, I'm Adam Daigle. I'm Director of Narrative here at Paizo. Me and the team I work with make all the adventures.
And you are very good at them, as someone who is only mildly biased. Now, before we get into Troubles in Grace, which I'm very excited about, I have my off-topic question to ask you, which is, what games have you been playing lately?
Well, we recently started a new Office game with James Jacobs, John Compton, Andrew White, and Ron Lundeen. We're only like 2 or 3 sessions in, but it's been a lot of fun, especially like it's an in-person game, which is very important.
Awesome.
So yeah. And then aside from that, I've been getting back, and I almost rarely play video games, but they had a new expansion for Fallout 76. So I've wandered into the wasteland of Ohio a little bit, but I'll do more of that this weekend.
Ooh, I have not played Fallout 76 since they put NPCs in it. I probably should.
I didn't get into it until way later, and everyone was like, oh, it's terrible. And I was like, no, this is fine. But the one thing I was reluctant for is like the whole MMO and playing with strangers thing I wasn't into. But it's only like 20 people in the world at once. And every time I've run into a stranger, they've been super great. Like when I was low level, they were like, here's a bunch of stuff. Thanks. And they'd take off. So, yeah.
One of my favorite things about that game and about like the community around it is that before they put in NPCs and quests, there were just some people who built a guild and decided that they were going to be the quest givers for new players. So you could just they had shifts, and at any time of the day, there would be people in various locations that you could go to, ask them for a quest, and then come back later and they would give you a reward.
Nice.
Which I was like, I love that we created that infrastructure.
It's a lot of fun because it's like West Virginia, and so it's like steeped in a lot of like early labor movement stuff. Like you can go to Blair Mountain. There's Harper's Ferry, and there's like these little like Easter eggs from all of that, and it's just great.
Also, I hear the Mothman is there.
Yes.
The most important non-human resident of West Virginia. All right. Well, I've taken up enough of your time with Fallout, so tell us, what is Troubles in Grace?
All right. So Louise hit on it a little bit before. Basically, we're redoing, like, the original Beginner Box had Troubles in Otari afterwards, and then led into Abomination Vaults. And that didn't exactly match up because the levels you were at the end of Otari, you ended up having to either roll your character back to start Abomination Vaults or start with a level ahead. This time we got it right. And so you can play through the Beginner Box, go into Troubles in Grace, and then on to what James is going to be talking about. So yeah, it is. And then what is different from Troubles in Otari is that this time around, there's 6 adventures in it rather than just 3. And each adventure gives a level worth of experience. So you can either play just 3 and then move into the next thing James will be talking about, or you can use the slow progression and play through all 6 of them, because they span between levels 2 and 4. So there's two level 2 adventures, 2 level 3, and 2 level 4s, and you can kind of mix and match. Also in the book is a big 12-page gazetteer of the town and all the different people you can meet while you're in town, and some of them are ones that need help. Some of the ones that are experiencing the troubles. Grace is a pretty like hardworking agricultural town. It's also really steeped in faith. It has like 3 major religions there. It's got Pharasma, Iomedae, and then Andaletta. And it's a really old town, but it stayed really small and kind of insular this whole time. It being in Ustalav has, they've had their share of horror troubles in the past, but things have been pretty good lately, at least since the fall of Last Wall and the Gravelands have settled down. And, being in Ustalav, there's, all sorts of troubles. Like, they're really proud that they can say, we haven't had a vampire here in generations. But
you say that, and then I think of the image that Luis had me pull for this for his segment that just had zombies crawling up out of the ground.
That was more like Ustalav and not necessarily Grace. So yeah. Yeah, and so I mean, like, this involves a lot of like horror light type adventures. You've got cryptid hunts and going into an abandoned old mad scientist's house. Digging underneath the town because, one of the things that had happened a couple of weeks back, the town suffered a big sinkhole in the middle of their town square, and they sent an engineer under to go see what was going on, and the engineer went missing. So these new adventurers, fresh from the Temple of the Unlit Star, wander into town, and there's plenty of things for them to do. Like,
don't you hate it when your engineer goes missing?
Sometimes ghouls get everywhere, and you gotta clean them out.
Yeah. So a question that's not on my list, but you've prompted me to it. Is the Temple of the Unlit Star in trouble, like in Grace, or is it sort of?
No, it's upriver. It's probably about I don't know, the day or 2 walk, or a day boat ride down the Path River from Temple of Unlit Star to Grace. So it's all in the same region.
Awesome. 1 second.
Yeah.
I want to make sure that I didn't miss any of the images that I wanted to show. We're good. You mentioned earlier when you were introducing this that the old beginner box didn't lead directly level-wise into Abomination Vaults in the way that maybe we would have wanted it to. Mm-hmm. So in the development process, what did you like? Was it difficult to change the development process for these 3, this adventure in the beginner box, and then also James's thing, to make those work?
I think we had the benefit of, one, having done something similar before. And at that time, it wasn't planned exactly the way it needed to fall. And this time we had the chance to do that. Like, I think we could have done it at the time, but we didn't necessarily want to start Abomination Vaults at like 5th level. So we ramped that back, just not knowing if people were going to actually follow that entire path of beginner box, introductory adventure, AP, to kind of step up through the commitment of playing through a long campaign. But with this one, we knew that we were going to do this going into it. So the adventure path that James is going to be talking about starts at 5th, which is perfect because if you play through the adventures in Troubles in Grace, that's where you'll be at. So
that's awesome. I'm excited because I'm a Gothic horror fan, so all of these are for me specifically because I love Ustalav. It is my favorite little sub-region.
It's a good spot.
But also I'm excited because like the on-ramp for new players is going to be really amazing to have sort of every level sort of like laid out and ready for you.
Right.
But asking from my heart, what inspired the adventure team, and also I believe the rules and lore team as they work on the beginner boxes, to choose Ustalav?
A lot of that came from it was because like all of these were kind of planned together. Like when it was determined that, yes, we're going to do another beginner box, it was like, okay, well, where's this going to go? We should move it away and just show people a new region. And like we were saying, Ustalav's great. And there's always plenty of stuff to do there. There's always something scary and gross you need to punch in the face, So once it was determined that we were going to do the beginner box there, we kind of, originally like James Case was working on this and he and I was collaborating a lot on like where we were going to put it and stuff like that. And so, yeah, it all kind of by knowing that we were going to do a beginner box, I immediately thought, okay, well, I want to do follow-up adventures past that, and I want to do them where everything is seamless. And so it kind of came from that. And the thing is like, I don't want to make people think that you have to play the beginner box to play this, or you have to play the beginner box and this to play the AP. Like, you can play all three of them independently, but if you choose to make a commitment of an entire campaign, we've got everything set up for you.
My next question is this. So because this is like you just said, you segued perfectly, as something not only for beginners who have just played the beginner box, what will seasoned adventurers find exciting about Troubles in Grace?
I think seasoned adventurers will, I think your experience, you're going to have fun time, just because like these are good, fun little snippet adventures. You know, they each give you a nice, good level. I think it's got some exciting, like, see this one. This was from one of the adventures where you end up fighting a hag, and looks like poor Mary is possibly turning into gingerbread. But yeah, so I mean, it's got the same level of quality of all of our adventures, you know. So new people and experienced people are going to find plenty of fun little twists and excitement in there. I also realized that since I almost said the title for this, so I'm going to go ahead and say what the titles of all these are. Is that fine?
Yeah, perfectly fine. I only have this one and the prior one for the starter images, but
yeah. So yeah, I don't have images for these. I'm just going to say them. So we got Path River Peeler, written by Bill Fisher. Sabotage, written by Quinn Murphy. They Hunger Below by Joseph Blomquist. The Disgraced Dollmaker by Jason Keeley. Sweet Tooth by Solomon St. John. And The Count of Petals by Miko Kallio.
What? One of them is about a doll maker?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Oh, I've got a picture for that.
I was like, I think I know what picture I should turn to.
There you go.
Would you like to tell us about these spooky little friends?
They're probably something you should be cautious about. If dolls don't already creep you out, they might at the end of this adventure. So, pretty much it.
Let's go on a little tour, actually, of some of the faces that you'll see in Troubles in Grace, because I have a handful of friendly faces.
Yep. So one thing, this is actually there's a gremlins in a couple of the adventures, and it wasn't necessarily planned out, but apparently Grace has a burgeoning gremlin problem, because they ended up in a couple of different adventures, and at one point I was like, is this too many gremlins? I was like, or does this just show that Grace has a gremlin problem?
I like it, and I also like it for the future in which my home table inevitably decides to play exclusively gremlins, because that's just what they're going to do. They're going to find a way to do it.
Well, they will be in good company.
This person looks nice.
Yeah, that's a sweet hag. Who might be related to the gingerbread transformation earlier.
I don't think she would ever hurt me. I think never. She's just going to give me muffins and all will be fine.
Yeah, she's probably not posing as something nice in town either.
No! Why would you ever accuse her of that? That's so cruel.
Yep, and you know, sometimes you got to fight an undead bugbear.
Is that what this is?
Yeah.
Ooh, that sounds mildly dangerous. Maybe. Shan Wolf in the chat says, yeah, I should eat those muffins without checking them at all. That is exactly what I will be doing. Thank you very much. This is not true. I am the GM for our home game. So what it will actually be is that I will be the one telling my players, oh no, you should definitely eat these.
Tempting people. Yeah.
You should definitely eat them. It's fine.
Again,
is this another part of our gremlin problem?
Yeah. This one's a little big for his britches and thinks he's super smart. And he might be. But
he's
with
got
that
the head
same
for it, for sure.
gremlin problem of it's smart for all the wrong reasons.
Well, that's unfortunate. But we do have a handful of friendly faces.
Yeah,
maybe.
see, this is some of the citizens of Grace. These are some of the people you'll end up meeting. We've got a harbor master and a bar owner and an engineer and a troublemaker and a skeptical troublemaker. Actually, I can't remember exactly who she is, but
I'm going to let everyone in the chat make their own guesses on the descriptions and who they match up to. I'm gonna let them all guess. I love the little bunny hood that the one in the bottom right is wearing. It's adorable and perfect.
And it's not exactly a bunny hood, but you'll have to play through the Path River Peeler to find out what's going on with that little costume.
Ooh, I'm not sure how I feel about that. Positive. Z in the chat asked, how many follow-up adventures are there? I believe you said there's a total of 6 in here, right?
Yep, 6 total adventures.
And there are 2 at each level.
Yeah. Or like you can do the slow track or milestone leveling and just be like, okay, we play through 2 of these, you get a level. We play through, you get a level. But otherwise, if you're just doing it just by awarding XP numbers, each adventure should get you a full level.
Awesome.
And so even if you're not using this to like play through and make it an entire campaign, you can just use this book as like a, hey, we've, I want to play a quick session or, a quick couple of sessions. You can just grab one of these adventures and like fill in, it doesn't have to be part of a campaign.
I am going to assume that you can read my mind because my next question was going to be about how long is each of these adventures. And I think you've just told me a session, couple sessions.
It comes down to your own, play style, but, there's probably roughly 10 encounters per.
Yeah. Okay. So if you're a marathon person, maybe a couple of sessions. If you're like me, maybe 4 to 5, because I play shorter games in general. But a good number to put in between somewhere or to get ready for something else.
Yeah.
And I believe we are at the end of the things that you've told me that you're going to share. So it's time for a secret. What are you going to spoil for us, Adam?
All right. I've got 2, but they're kind of minor. They're like walking that line between spoiler and Easter egg. But by playing through these adventures, you will, people who've been reading our stuff for a while and are familiar with Ustalav and stuff like that will find out a little bit more about the Kindler family. And then also, if anyone happened to play through Claws of the Tyrant, since the Gravelands are right on the other side of the river, there's a little Claws of the Tyrant Easter egg within Troubles in Grace.
Ooh. Well, I'm very excited to run it for my home table and also to hear about everyone playing it. If you make spooky PCs, please show them to me. I love spooky characters. But we will bring you back, Adam, for questions in a little bit. But between then and now, I believe James Jacobs has an adventure path to announce.
It's true.
So we're going to do a quick commercial break, and then we will bring Maya and James back to talk about our fall adventure path. Thank you.
Thank you.
The Ruby Phoenix Tournament, the world's greatest martial arts contest, held in honor of the legendary sorcerer Hao Jin, the Ruby Phoenix. The final team standing in this once-per-decade contest wins a grand prize, their choice of a single item from Hao Jin's magnificent vault of treasures. This year, Hao Jin herself will preside as the grand judge. But to receive the honor of just even meeting the Ruby Phoenix, the contestants must first prove their mettle and strength in the untamed jungles of Danger Island. Only the 8 greatest teams will proceed to the metropolis of Goka to compete for the title of Ruby Phoenix Champions. During a year that promises to be unlike any other, countless untold mysteries await the challengers. Will it be mysterious scoundrels like the Lightkeepers? Brave friends such as Tino's Toughest? Or will it be your team of adventuring heroes to claim the Sorcerer's Prize? Let the games begin with the Fists of the Ruby Phoenix Adventure Path.
I was born in the town of Sandpoint. I grew up there, but my memories are anything but happy. You made my life a living hell. But when I struck back against you, I was called a monster and paid for my sins with my life. Fools. I was far from the last to threaten the townsfolk of Sandpoint. Far from the worst of the fates now waiting to strike your town. 7 new dooms wait on your doorstep. And to stop them, your town will need a new band of heroes to save you. Heroes who must be able to solve sinister crimes and untangle frightening mysteries, and who know when the time is right to seek solutions other than battle, and who know that not every monster is an enemy. Heroes who will be able to stand against the supernatural cause of your night horrors, or that can stand against even the strangest and most frightening of foes. But I have my doubts. There are revelations awaiting you that I suspect you might not be able to endure. And when you fail, your town will burn, and you will all, at long last, become burnt offering.
Uh-oh. There's muting going on, it looks like.
Looks like StreamYard had me muted. I think I'm finally unmuted. Thank you, StreamYard. Okay, here we are. Welcome, James.
Hi.
Welcome back to our lovely Paizo Live here today. Thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah. For anyone in the chat who might not be familiar, can you please introduce yourself first before we get started?
Yeah, I'm James Jacobs. I'm the Pathfinder narrative creative director. So I'm help direct all of the adventure side of things and all of the various storylines that happen that you get to go adventuring in.
Heck yes, the adventures that we love and hold so near and dear to our hearts. Thank you, James, for doing all that.
Hey.
And let's also ask you our little fun icebreaker question here. What games have you been playing lately?
So Adam kind of stole my a little bit.
Stole it.
Yeah, because I'm playing an in-person Pathfinder game for the first
time.
Oh,
you are?
Very nice. Since pre-COVID.
Very nice, though. How great is it to get back at our table?
It's a delight. It's a delight. I mean, I can say a little bit more. It's set in the Ironbark Archipelago, and they're stranded on an island, and they don't realize it yet, but they're in way over their heads. So I'm eager to. We're not going to play again this year. So the next game is like the first or second week of January. So I'm excited to get back to it. But he also stole my thunder when it comes to video games because I just upgraded my PC for the first time in like 7 years. So I'm able to jump back into Fallout 76. I haven't quite got into Ohio yet, but I'm ready to go. So instead, I'm doing the nerd juggle where I've got over on the PlayStation, I'm playing Ghosts of Yotai.
Okay.
And then on the Xbox, I'm playing Total Chaos.
Oh, wow.
And then on the PC, I'm playing this indie open world game called Bastion Steel.
Incredible.
And so
yeah, you got the 3.
Yeah, it's like, which one do I play next?
I thought you were going to keep going. And then on the Atari, I'm playing...
There's more, but yeah, that's like...
I mean, you technically listed 5 games, James. So it's...
Yeah, so I'm playing games.
You're playing a lot of games.
Yeah.
All right. So we told our viewers that we were not going to announce the name of the adventure path until this segment. So let's give the people and the leshies and the various hags, because we've seen 2 hags today. Let's give the people and the leshies and the various hags what they want. What is the fall adventure path? Tell us.
The fall adventure path is Bastion of Blasphemies. It's a 9 to 10th level adventure path. You start at 5th level, you go all the way up to 13th level. You could probably hit 14th level if you do every single encounter along the way. But yeah, Bastion of Blasphemies. Don't recognize that moniker. This is an adventure path set entirely in Bastard Hall, which amuses me because somebody upstream in the thread was like, they'll never do a Bastard Hall adventure path. Well, yeah, now we will. So this entire adventure path, yeah, is set in there's Bastard Hall in the background, actually, with all the lightning hitting it and all of that. So yeah, it's full on haunted castle time.
And it's been a while since we've done like full on haunted castle time, right?
It has been. We've done them before, but this is also like we've been saying earlier, that this is kind of, you start in Temple of the Unlit Star, you go through Troubles and Grace, and then you get to here. The idea was that we wanted, unlike what we did with the first beginner box in Troubles in Atari and Abomination Vault, we want the levels to progress naturally. So you go through all of that stuff, you finish Troubles and Grace, and you make friends perhaps with somebody with the last name of Kindler, perhaps.
Maybe.
And she says, well, I need help. There's something going on over on the other side of Ustalav. Let's go over there and start looking through the ruins of Bastard Hall. And it pretty much immediately goes bad.
Oh, immediately?
Yeah.
There's not even like
immediate.
Just
no,
immediate.
No.
Okay.
Nope. All of that travel across, that's meh.
Yeah.
So yeah, this adventure is one of the things we wanted to do every once in a while is kind of like do dungeon crawls and lean into. We did that with the Troubles or with Abomination Vaults. More recently, we did it with a couple of other ones like Shades of Blood. Yes. And they're not for everybody for sure, but they are very popular. So we want to do them every now and then. And every time we do one, we learn more and start doing things differently and all of that. And with Bastion of Blasphemies, this is the first time we've really done a big giant dungeon crawl in a giant dungeon that we've talked about before. We invented, like, even back to the Emerald Spire, Shades of Blood, Abomination Vaults. These are all mega dungeons that we created specifically for those adventures. And this time we're actually going to one that we've been talking about for Wes Schneider. My good friend Russ Schneider invented Bastard Hall way back in early first edition days. So it's a delight to finally get to do stuff with it.
We are finally there. How incredible is that? I see there's lots of chatter in the chat about they're pumped about the mega dungeon. They couldn't believe it to be true, and yet it is. Here we are, the mega dungeon. So you said it starts immediately bad?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, what goes well, in a way it doesn't, because your adventure really starts with the new beginner box. So you're going, and there's like a bit of a flow, and then you get to the finale, and the finale starts immediately bad. So tell us a little bit more about the finale in Ustalav with Bastions of Blasphemies. What is it about? Like, what do you do?
It's about this giant legendary haunted castle that's been every 100 years. This headless horseman guy runs out, scours the land, picks people up, brings them back. They vanish forever. Happens every 100 years. Last time this happened in world was about 5 years ago. So people are like, oh, it's going to be another 100 years before we have to worry about it. Not the case. Something happens, and the player characters pretty much immediately get sucked into Bastard Hall. And it is the entire adventure path takes place. This castle is located on an island.
Okay.
And the entire adventure path from level 5 all the way to level 14 takes place on that island. Because you're trapped in this castle. It's a cursed castle. You can't get away. The goal of this adventure path is to escape Bastard Hall. And it's going to take you a long time to get there. So, it's, like I said, it's a haunted castle. There's all sorts of shenanigans going on in here. A lot of people talking about, oh, that's friend shaped. Oh, I want to make new friends. It's like, there are some things in here that you can make friends with, but majority of the stuff is
not friend shaped.
Take your skin. Like, for example, there's werewolves.
That was so. I don't know if y'all heard that. This is our new classifier for Pathfinder monsters. Take your skin. It's a whole new genre of monsters.
And one of the things too with this is I really wanted to lean, like when Wes first created Bastard Hall, he was super inspired by the video game Castlevania. and which is the Gothic haunted castle where you run through and you fight werewolves and the mummy and all.
And someone did say that in the chat. Silver, the Silver Knight said Pathfinder Castlevania hype. So yeah,
absolutely. So we really wanted to, in this one, I wanted to include a lot of like these classic horror monsters, like werewolves you see here. And for myself, while I do like Castlevania, my favorite Gothic haunted mega dungeon games are the Dark Souls games.
Yes, of course.
So a lot of that is also inside of this adventure path. So like when you start this campaign, you land on the shore and you just start exploring, and you can't go everywhere at once. It's sort of not quite level locked.
Okay.
But you have to accomplish these things to start unlocking sections of the castle, and then you can adventure them, open up shortcuts, and navigate new ways and explore different ways. So people who are familiar with the way Dark Souls games are constructed are going to see a lot of familiar stuff going on in here as well. So pretty neat. Speaking actually of those classic monsters, I think there's got to be vampires. So
there's for sure vampires.
There's for sure vampires. I mean, if it was a monster that showed up in Castlevania, something inspired by that is probably going to show up in Bastion Hall. I mean, it's kind of the genetic code. Thanks to Wes Schneider, coded that in there. But there's also stuff from Dark Souls, like the Dark Souls monsters tend to be a lot more twisted and unreal and monstrous and ancient and eldritch and slimy and drippy and well armored and all of that. So, that's going to be going on for sure.
Whew. We got some really big bads in there, especially since they're just all in this one terrifying castle.
It's a big castle, so there's a lot of room to move around.
I mean, I love it. I'm a film nerd, so I love movies when they're like, we're doing the whole film, one house. You know what I mean? Like that whole entire trope is really great for me. So an adventure where it's like your whole adventure, one island, one castle, expansive castle, but like you are just going through the depths of one location, really tearing that down to the nitty gritty. That kind of stuff is really, really interesting to me. And hopefully also our chat. I believe also our chat. They seem all pretty pumped about this in general.
I don't want to hop in real quick. I saw a question about how will you handle shopping and rune transfer.
Yeah.
This all takes place in one place, but it's not on a timer. You can take years doing this. So there's going to be plenty of time to do downtime, things like rune transfers and stuff like that. There is also, like most castles, have a small little village just outside the castle walls.
Right.
That, has like a smith and a tavern and a schoolhouse and a little temple and an inn and places where you can go to, rest and recover and all of that. And not everybody who when Bastard Hall got hit with this curse, it affected everybody in the castle, even a lot of people who were visiting. And while the family that runs the place, the Aradoras, I think we have their family crest, an image of the Aradora family crest that we could share too. So all of there it is. There's Bastard Hall at the top, and they're kind of their pet lake monster who lives in the lakes surrounding the areas. They've kind of co-opted as their mascot.
I too would like a pet lake monster. So
for sure. Who wouldn't? But anyway, when you first land on this island, it's haunted. Everything is bad. There's monsters and awful stuff everywhere. But you start finding these spirits, these people who are trapped in this limbo. And as you rescue them, they return to this village and they start building up their power. And the more that you find like shards of their souls that are scattered all throughout the castle, you can basically return their memories, their soul fragments to them, and they start getting more and more powerful. And through them, they'll be able to manifest stuff that you can shop for. They'll be able to help you with your tools, level up your weapons, and all sorts of stuff like that. So there is definitely a small village that basically kind of levels up as you go, as long as you're taking care of these folks who you are rescuing. You have to build it yourself, though.
That's right. It's like you're leveling up the environment in addition to yourselves.
And again, that's a little bit also like inspired from the Dark Souls games, where there's all these like characters you find just out in the wild, and when you encounter them the first time, they're like slumped against a gravestone. They go, it's been too long since I breathed air that didn't make me cry.
Oh God.
And so when you first find them, they're not in a great shape, and you got to start building them back up.
Okay. I'm gonna remember that forever. Especially on days when I'm sad, I will remember you impersonating that
Yeah,
I'm gonna
just
put it in
remember,
my adventure as well.
At least you're breathing air that doesn't make you sad.
At least, at least. All right, and so our new adventure paths, we're doing these hardcovers now,
Right.
With all of the big shebang in the one book, and
Right.
single authors are writing the whole adventure path, which you did.
Well, yeah, that's not the norm.
Yeah.
We are
Well, how did
hiring.
it go though?
So when we decided we were going to switch over to do full hardcover adventure paths, we talked over like, how are we going to do this? It's still the same length of content. So we still have, in a lot of cases, want to rely on multiple authors to share the load and all of that. But it's also it's all one thing. And I've always wanted to, I did it kind of before with the 7 Dunes for Sandpoint, which was not quite as long as this one. But I wanted the challenge myself to try to have this happen. And we also had a situation where when we did the switch and this got put on the schedule, we were really on time. And amount of time that it would have taken to like do a full outline and hire a bunch of different writers and all of that, not been enough time to write it. So I kind of just started writing it right away and basically did the whole thing. And it's sort of also an experiment to see if it could be done, like if one author could do an entire adventure path and if that would give any sort of different vibe and all of that stuff. It's not going to be the norm. We do plan on using a lot of authors for adventure paths because getting diverse voices in for an adventure path, I think, is really important because you bring different people in like that. And
we love doing that.
Yeah. But with the hardcover format all in one book, this allows us to do this if we want. So,
and how was that experience for you?
It was fun. It was.
How did it go?
It was. This is the largest thing that I've written. The previous winner was either 7 Dunes for Sandpoint, or I did a lot of work on the Sandy Peterson Call of Cthulhu book for Pathfinder. That was also pretty big, but it was really fun because just being able to write the whole thing, weave in little sort of connections with characters all over the place. The maps for this thing, these are the most complicated maps I've ever had to build for an adventure because there's so many different connections. It's not linear. It's really a kind of a sandbox that as you start unlocking regions of the castle, it just sort of mushrooms out.
Folds out, I was gonna say, yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's gonna be fun. And you said we've talked about how this is a Gothic horror adventure.
Yep.
So can you talk to us more, like what sort of creatures and tropes and other spooky things can adventurers look forward to for all of them? Our chat is clearly full of Gothic horror fans. So please tell us, what more spooky things?
There was one question I wanted to also announce.
Oh, yeah.
This one doesn't have a lot of back matter art. There's a back matter article with treasures and monsters and NPCs and stuff like that. There aren't any. There's one other article that is about finding out the history. Because one of the best parts of a haunted house movie or story is finding the history of that place out and figuring out why it is this way. And that is a significant part of Bastion of Blasphemies, is figuring out why all of this is happening. And as you start finding these clues out and learning the histories of all of these different characters who are now haunting the place, like one's a werewolf, one is a vampire, one is a bat, one is this, one is that thing over there. You start figuring out like clues how to fight them more efficiently and all that. So there's a big article basically about how to untangle all of those hidden secrets. But as for other things, there's like I was saying, there's a lot of creepy monsters in here. One thing that I really had a lot of fun doing was traps. There's a lot of haunts in here and haunted traps, like this one right here, which is perhaps this may be a bunch of ghostly night gaunts trying to get at you through an arrow slit in the wall. But
I don't like that.
Nope. It was fun too. Like I tried to not just make it fun to play, but when the GM or whoever's reading it, I wanted to give these haunts kind of a spooky name. Like this one might be Despair is Thy Reward. And just as you're reading it, I wanted to give the vibe of like reading a horror story, even if you're just reading it for fun.
Very cool.
For the game. Yeah. There's another element too that I wanted to mention as well, since this is kind of based inspired by things like Dark Souls and Castlevania, the idea of like collectibles and collecting items as you explore this thing. We're going to have all sorts of stuff. Like this is a picture here. What is that? This is the Champion's Fall. This is a piece of artwork you can find in the adventure.
Yeah, it's like this is a picture of a picture.
Yeah. And there's multiple pieces of artwork. They're not all paintings. Some of them are carvings. Some of them are books. Some of them are other things. If you find all of these things and you can return them to the right room, you unlock something special. And there's also another set of collectible things that you can unlock something special, and another set of things you can unlock. And
How
if you do
cool is
all of this,
that?
if you do all of this stuff, you potentially can unlock the secret ending of this adventure path. And if you unlock the secret ending, you really win. But if you don't do all of that other stuff, I'm not going to spoil a lot of it. You can still escape Bastion Hall, but it's not really a win. Because
right. You've completed the goal, but you did not gain all of the journey, essentially.
And also it's as you're exploring Bastion Hall, it starts out as kind of a nice, kind of brisk fall day, and it's like it's a little chilly, but it's like, oh, it's whatever. But as you explore and start delving deeper and deeper into the depths of Bastion Hall, it gets more and more haunted. It gets more and more stormy. This lightning starts striking. And so, like, I think we've got a couple of pictures of the page boards. Like when it starts out, this is what the page borders look like. So you see the towers of Bastion Hall,
it's giving
the clock
September,
tower. You'll note that it stops at 2 o'clock, exactly important later on. But so then later on, when it's flooding and there's storms and thunder and lightning, the page borders change incrementally as you go through. And that not only gives it each chapter its own kind of flavor, but it helps give the GM kind of a cue to like, okay, in this point, if you go outside, you're going to be in difficult terrain because the entire place is flooded. And there's different levels of that type of stuff. There's so many different things, the way this entire area changes and evolves as you play dynamically, that we've actually got kind of a tracking sheet for Bastion Hall that your GM and players can keep track of, like what's going on and who we've saved and how many of these things we've collected and that sort of thing. What else? Okay, I guess there's also monsters. Like
I was gonna say, what are some of these other creatures? Do we have more creatures we want to show?
We do.
The chat?
I tried to lean into every possible horror trope I could, including the killer doll. This is
Killer Doll plus clown.
This guy's name is Grandpa Sizzle.
Grandpa Sizzle.
Yeah, he wants to show you a trick, and it's gonna
horrors,
hurt.
One nightmare.
Yeah. And I mean, there's all sorts of different monsters. As I'm writing these things up, I'm like coming up with like just letting my brain like suck in all of the inspiration I've had for monsters all over the place. And I don't really like puns that much, but now and then a pun strikes me, and I'm like, I have to do something about that. And so that was where the Ghoul-rilla came from.
Where's the Ghoul-rilla? We have
the Ghoul-rilla is a piece of art. I think we got that in here. So yeah, you've got ghouls. The thing with ghouls is, you don't have to be human and turn into a ghoul.
No.
You could be you could be a gorilla.
Yes,
and it gets bad. So maybe we don't have that one. Anyway, it doesn't matter.
I don't think we do. But it's okay. We have lots of other things. We've got various maps.
Oh yeah, that's actually the spoiler. We jumped ahead to my spoiler.
Let's get to the spoiler. Honestly, we were talking about a lot of spooky things, and we did have a lot of. There's the Ghoul-rilla. Let's go, Ghoul-rilla. Ghoul-rilla.
Yeah.
I was so excited for it, because we made the art, but now I have regrets. I am full of remorse for wanting the Ghoul-rilla in my life.
Yeah.
But look at him. Look how cool he is.
He's bad news. He's down in
really bad news. Not at all friendship.
There's one of the sides. There's all sorts of different side stories in there. Like one of the things I said is like people who were visiting the castle when the curse hit got trapped there. One of those groups that got trapped there was a traveling carnival, and they had things like strange animals like a gorilla, and they had weird like ventriloquist dummies like Grandpa Sizzle.
Grandpa Sizzle.
Yeah. So,
who are Grandpa Sizzle's grandchildren? Like Grandpa Sizzle.
Everybody is his grandchild.
He's got a lineage, and that is
he keeps all of his grandchildren in his fireplace. They're
okay.
The ashes. So.
Terrifying adventure, people.
So yeah, I think we got one last piece of art before I get to the spoiler thing.
Yes.
I just wanted to show in this kind of opener for the adventure toolbox. Showing the player characters. Again, there's Bastion in the background, and there's the Lake Laroba monster rising up out of the surf to attack them.
Beautiful.
And
beautiful nightmare.
That could happen to you in the adventure path. The Lake Laroba monster is really, really powerful. So just like in Dark Souls and Castlevania, not everything you encounter in here is going to be something you can defeat at that point. You might have to go try something else. You might have to go find a secret weapon to maybe give yourself a chance. It might just be too tough.
You might just try and have to keep trying many times.
Exactly. So anyway, yeah. Bastion.
So now,
Bastard Hall, Bastion of Blasphemies, coming next fall.
And now that we've got all of our spooky monsters and things together, let's give us one spoiler. So what is the spoiler?
That is the spoiler. That is, we normally don't show off maps for Adventure Pass, so this is a sort of a spoiler. This is the map for Chapter 1 of Bastion of Blasphemies. And this is called the Haunted Shore. And this is all of the land around Bastard Hall itself. So you see like up in the upper left
see the little town you mentioned?
That's the town of Mesarine. There's like a little lighthouse down on the side. There's a fishing shack. There's a little statue. There's a little wooden walkway off to the side, a little farm plot area where a little Stonehenge. So a lot of these kind of tropes that you find in like classic horror movies and all of that. But this whole area is basically your 5th level exploration. And that big black shape in the middle, that is the footprint, the foundational footprint of Bastard Hall itself. And so as you continue to level up and unlock areas and like that, you'll see there's multiple ways you can go into Bastard Hall. You'll start opening up more chambers and areas within, above and below, and all sorts to either side and all of that. Yeah, these are all also 5-foot squares. I wanted to build the entire thing out as at 5-foot square grid so that I'm eager to find out people who print this out at scale to see how it's probably will cover 2 or 3 or 5 or 10 parking spaces.
Massive, yeah, truly massive. Yeah. We got a lot of wonderful.
Yeah, definitely.
Things.
What is the James Jacobs Adventure without a lighthouse? I got to put a lighthouse in there. It's a requirement. And usually the thing that is in the lens in the lighthouse is a bad thing. And well, you'll see.
I guess we'll see. We will find out. So thank you for talking to us about that, James. That adventure sounds really freaking cool. Looks like the chat is really excited about it too. We're all excited about it. We're excited. So right now, we are going to invite all of our creatives back, and we will go over some of your questions. Some of them we've been answering during the stream, but some of them we have gathered during our moderators have gathered, and we've compiled them all together. So we will ask everyone all of those questions, and if you have any more questions, feel free to drop them in the chat as well. And we'll be right back in just a few minutes before we maybe not a few minutes. Yes, few minutes before we bring everyone back. Yep. Okay. All right. Alrighty. Thank you, James. We'll see you in some minutes.
Bye.
Dragons. It's impossible to ignore our majesty and influence. We were birthed by the gods themselves, and it's clear that our dominance is part of our very being.
Dragons. They're a menace, a blight upon the world. They think themselves the rulers of the world. Tyrants is what they are.
We know that others seek to be more like dragons, if only to get a taste of our abilities. Of course, we are not above sharing the gifts of our draconic influence for the right price.
Yes, a dragon might be able to grant you power, but they remain dangerous nonetheless.
With dragons holding such influence, benevolence, and power, it would be foolish for anyone to stand up against us.
With that much power, dragons can't be trusted. That's why slayers like me have to stand up against them.
For anyone who dares stand against us quickly learns.
As a new slayer, there's one thing you should never forget.
Nothing compares to the might of a dragon.
everyone.
We're back.
Welcome
We
back.
returned. We have returned. We brought all of us here. We're all here to talk to you and
Everyone
answer
is
your questions.
here.
We had a lot of great questions during this Paizo Live, so I can't wait to get into them. I want to answer one of them. I want to answer first because it is a question for me that I can answer quickly, which was, does Can Library TTRPG clubs email to request beginner boxes? Absolutely, you can, and I encourage you to do so. We send beginner boxes definitely to libraries, schools. I send them to like charities. I sent some to a prison. I sent them to all kinds of people who benefit from TTRPGs. So send community an email, community@paizo.com. If you have a community that is looking to get started in Pathfinder and Starfinder, send me an email. Yes, including the new beginner box soon.
Something that I love about the fact that we do this is we went to Gen Con this year and a teacher brought a thank you card from their class.
Yeah.
And we hung it on the back booth door of Gen Con so that everyone could see how excited all of their students were to have gotten to play the beginner
emotional.
box.
Like 10 children had written thank you on this card. It was really, really kind. So yeah, we love providing games for the community. We just want to help. So yeah, just wanted to get that question, help you with that one. All right. And Rue, why don't you kick us off with another question?
I was gonna start with asking you that, so I'll pick a different one. Luis, I didn't get to talk to you today.
Hello.
Kuro the Wanderer would like to know, does the new beginner box have a solo adventure like the previous beginner box?
It sure does.
Nice.
If you know the previous one, that one was kind of piratey, treasure themed. But because we're in Ustalav, this one's a little spookier. And you may or may not run into a haunted house. You do run into it.
Do you run inside the haunted house, or do you run into it like Final Fantasy VII style, where the Hell House attacks you physically?
Depends on your choices, but you can go inside.
Ooh.
And yeah, that's very similar to the last one. And again, if you want to learn the game, it's still a good opportunity to do so, even though you're playing on your own.
Nice. Tabletop Obscura has a follow-up question for sending games to TTRPG clubs. Can we send them internationally? Yes. I quite literally this week sent the beginner box to schools in both Canada and the UK. So yes, it does. Anywhere that we are capable of shipping, we will send you those games. So even internationally.
If we can't ship there, we will give you PDF access.
Yes, we will. Yeah, regardless, you will get a game in some fashion. If we're able to ship there, I can send you physical ones. And if we can't, then I will definitely get you the PDF. So you will be able to game in some way. Do not worry. Just send us an email. Again, community@Paizo. Let me put it in the chat. community@paizo.com. That's the email. It'll be me. I will answer your email. Hooray. All right, so let's ask another question here. Let's see. Okay, we have some Adam questions. I ask Adam a question. Hello, Adam.
Hello.
It's good to see you again.
Yeah, it's been a while.
It has been a while, since like Gen Con, basically. Okay, and we have someone asking, which adventure is your personal favorite, Adam?
Oh, man, they're trying to get me in trouble with my freelancers.
The worst part is that I asked this question, so I'm the one getting in trouble.
I don't have a favorite. And that, yeah, I'm being honest. Like I liked all the themes of them, and I mean enough that I picked them when I put them in the outline, and everybody did an awesome job. There's, gremlins breaking things, and cryptids, and hags, and crazy doll stuff, and even a vampire.
It's just James. He shows up. All right, it's my turn.
Nice.
I'm going to ask James a question because I didn't get to talk to James. And the reason that I don't get to talk to James on these shows is because I laugh at everything he says so much that I snort water up my nose, which is not attractive. Yes, you said, I don't know what it was, but you said something during.
I mean, they did an entire impersonation. Like
that's what it was. Yes, it was the Dark Souls impersonation that made me start.
Incredible.
But sorry, I scrolled up too far.
It's okay.
Tabletop Obscura asks, can you talk a little bit more about the village level up / village building mechanics? Like, how much control do you have over that?
I don't want to spoil too much, but it's not like you don't get to choose what go in there. There's already in this town, this village of Messerine has a schoolhouse, it has an inn, it has a workshop, it has a temple. It's got all of these things already set, and they're all currently infested by monsters. So you got to kill those monsters off first. That's one of the very first things you got to do in the adventure. And then once you've cleared those out, you can start exploring that or surrounding area and find the missing innkeeper, find the missing school teacher, find the missing smith. There's 6 of them, and you got to track them down and you got to rescue them. And then once you rescue them, their spirits go back there and kind of start materializing and getting more and more physicality out of them. Their phantasmal forms start becoming actual forms. And the more you do this, the more you start gaining their benefits. They're all 6 of these characters are specific NPCs with backstories. They all have personal quests they send you on to take care of inside of Bastard Hall. They all have like entanglements with certain things going on inside there, and we'll be able to give you hints and stuff like that. There's 6 of them, so each one of them is kind of thematically linked to one of the ability scores. There's a strength guy, there's a wizard, there's an intelligence person, so all of that stuff is kind of in there. And one thing I didn't mention as well, there's one of the cheekier ways I went in here and drew inspiration from Castlevania. So there's these things called soul hearts, which you'll have to track down scattered throughout the entire castle. There's a lot of them. And each soul heart is basically a fragment of one of these 6 phantoms' memories and souls and all that. So you got to find a soul heart. And once you got it, it'll give you a little bit of bonus. But then if you bring it back to the right person and you give it to them, it goes whoosh, it poofs, it levels them up to a new rank. So they get more things, more ways they can help you. And it's, kind of the hearts of are your health in Castlevania. Each time you do this, your party's, each character's maximum hit points go up.
Ooh.
So if you do this enough, you're going to have more hit points. Your characters in this adventure path will have more hit points than any other adventure path that we've ever published. And you're going to need those extra hit points.
The combination excitement of yay, more hit points, and then the fearful, and you're gonna need them.
Yeah. Truly. All right.
Somebody said better town system than Kingmaker. It's not anything remotely like Kingmaker. It's you're picking these things out. For example, like I'm trying to remember off the top of my head, but there's a shopkeeper, and if you bring the shopkeeper back at first, you can shop for things that are like up this first level, because they're barely there. But if you level them up once, you can start shopping for things that are up to 4th level. They manifest this stuff out of the ether for you. If you level them up again, maybe your new level cap is 8th level items. So it's pretty simple on how it all works. And it's all self-contained in each of these characters.
All right. So I'm going to ask Luis a question because he's next. Even though I did talk to Luis, I don't care. I'm greedy. Luis, Kojo Imperial wants to know, are there any plans for a Foundry module for the new beginner box?
I'm guessing so. We tend to have Foundry modules for any adventure-related content that comes out nowadays, so I would be surprised if we don't have ones, but I am not the person who is in charge of that, so I can't make any proper announcements.
Does anyone in this stream know for sure, or should we say, we're not sure right now, but we will update you later?
That's kind of a Foundry decision, but I mean, Luis is absolutely right. Like,
we usually
it would be odd if we didn't.
Yeah, it would be odd. It would be out of character if we didn't.
We're not sure, but we'll update you once we know.
We absolutely will. Yeah, y'all know full well I will be posting it both on social media and our forums. Once that is solid and we know 100% answer for you, we will let you know as soon as we know.
Shake this magic 8 ball and it says prospects look good.
Prospects do look good.
All right. Where am I? Up here. Adam.
That's me.
I talked to Adam, but I also get to be greedy and ask Adam questions.
We're greedy.
All of these adventures take place in Grace. do they take place elsewhere with Grace as the central like stay point for your adventurers?
Yeah, like some of them happen in like the hinterlands, like just outside of town, but you're never further than like a day away from town. A couple of them happen in town, some of them happen underneath town. So yeah.
Thank you. I'm gonna follow up because that was a very short question, and the other one that I have is also very short, which is Curry Marie asks, are you sure that Grace hasn't seen a vampire in generations?
Yeah.
I mean, as far as they think, sure. But now, as someone who built Grace, I didn't intend there to be one previously. But GMs can always have a secret vampire. Everyone loves a secret vampire. Who's that guy that never leaves his house unless it's dark? That's weird. He's always so nice to people.
He's always waiting for you to ask if he wants to come over.
Dr. Acula.
Not Dr. Acula.
Yeah.
I can't say Alucard because that's a Castlevania thing, and I may or may not have. I don't know. Dr. Acula is more
good old Dr. Acula.
Good old Dr. Acula. Speaking of unsuspecting neighbors, I will ask Louise another fun question from Miss Roy about the beginner box. Can you suplex a haunted house?
If you believe in yourself enough, you can.
Period.
You always can. If you don't want a vampire hiding out in town, you can always just have a secret conspirator dragon who has, stolen the skin of the local doctor and is now hiding out. So I don't know. You don't have to just. There's different options. Very your secret monsters.
So conspirator dragons are in the new Pathfinder genre of monsters. Take your skin.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's exactly what they do.
Fantastic.
That's their job.
If anyone has been watching the stream and making a list of all the monsters in Pathfinder that are classified as take your skin, conspirator dragon is your next one.
Technically, they are very. They don't take someone's skin. They generate new skin from magic. So they are,
they make new skin.
They make new skin. So
this is
they,
making me
they
so
are
uncomfortable about skin.
They're more ethical about how they acquire their skin.
Ethical skin creation, conspirator dragons.
Sorry,
Rue's dying.
So many things that
they're helping the skin economy by being skin creators.
Yes.
Ethically sourced skin suits.
Sustainable skin creation. Conspirator dragons.
Well, now I'm just going to be...
the last Paizo Live of the year. Have you noticed?
Last Paizo Live of the year, and we will
now
be
I'm wondering,
ending with the notion of skin.
Does this like ethically sourced skin ever have like freckles or like moles or skin cancer or
when
like
it needs
tattoos or
magic can do a lot of things that
wow.
That
was a yes.
I'm taking that as a yes, and I can give my conspirator dragon the ability to manifest tattoos, which is an ability that I wish I had. So.
Yeah, truly.
Yeah.
Speaking of abilities and player options, Streyu asks, James, are there any interesting player options for Bastion of Blasphemies that you would like to talk about?
It's got, like all of our adventure paths, we've got a player guide for it. But this one, not really. The adventure toolbox has a lot of items and stuff you can play with, including stuff like I mentioned before that increases your actual hit points and some other fun stuff that's like kind of self-contained in this adventure path. But since this is an adventure path that is kind of meant to be like a first adventure path, if you will, because you start in the beginner box and you get more into customizing your characters and Troubles and Grace, then you finally go into this ginormous haunted dungeon. I didn't want to overload things with new stuff. This is more to me bring something familiar that you're used to into a place that is legendary and lets you explore it with your own. I mean, yeah, it's no, not really. There's not a lot of player options to choose from. There is a lot of magic items. I don't think there's even any spells. I might have forgotten a spell in there, but there's a lot of stuff for you to do though, for sure.
Got to start like when you're starting a Souls-like game, you start with nothing and you work your way up to having things.
You could start Bastion of Blasphemies at first level if you want to go for like what do they call it in Dark Souls? The despair?
Yeah,
the deprived.
Deprived.
That's it. Yeah, you start with a club and a loincloth that is stained, and you aren't even the one who stained that loincloth. It's somebody else's. So you're just the bottom of the lowest of the worst.
We're having a wonderful conversation to end this Friday evening. Maya, do you want to do one?
Yeah, I was gonna say I want to know. Loremonger the 13th wants to know: will any of these adventures have flying Medusa heads like in Carrion Crown?
So flying Medusa heads are a thing in Castlevania. And I kind of like, even though this is inspired by Castlevania and Dark Souls, I don't want to be so on the nose as like, obviously that's that. And suddenly we have, people trying to go after us with whatever. So it's the inspiration is there. There are things in Bastion of Blasphemies that fly around and just have a head. They're a lot stickier than you may intend them to be or expect them to be, but they are there.
If you happen to own Monster Core 2, there is an entry for the Beheaded. And I don't know, GMs are free to do what they want.
Ooh, interesting. Gargoyles are OGL. We can't use them anymore, though. So if you want gargoyles in your game, go for it. But don't expect us to touch them.
Oh, you said Vargoyles. I thought you said gargoyles, and I was like,
oh, no. Gargoyles are
gargoyles.
There's plenty of gargoyles. We got gargoyles.
Yeah.
We got gargoyles in all these events. They're on the cover.
It's like, how big is this castle? And there's no gargoyles. All right.
There will be gargoyles.
There will be gargoyles. Then also Loremonger the 13th wants to know also specifically about Bastion of Blasphemies. Yeah. Is this kind of like Tyrant's Grasp where your characters start the campaign already dead?
No, you end up dead.
Oh, good.
No, it's you basically what happens is you're approaching Bastard Hall, and the idea is that you're going there to investigate it, and it sucks you up. And you become trapped in it. And Bastard Hall, as people who are familiar with the lore, because we've talked about Bastard Hall forever, every 100 years it phases in, and this headless horseman rides out in the black coach and snatches people up, and they vanish. And then it goes away, and then it's just kind of like an empty ruin. So the last time Bastard Hall phased in was in World was, I think, 5 or 7 years ago. And so you get pulled in to wherever Bastard Hall is when it's not in the world, and you're there until it comes back in 97 years, unless you can escape earlier.
That's
so you're full on alive when you come in. Whether or not you stay that way, I mean, that's up to you. I mean, you play Dark Souls. If you go left up towards the bridge, you're okay. But if you go right and then down the stairs into the flooded area, you're gonna die.
Right.
Well, I think with our spirited discussion of ethical skin sourcing and the many ways you can die in Ustalof, we are good to call it the end of this month's Paizo Live, which is, as Luis mentioned, the last Paizo Live of the year.
It is.
Before I close this out, is there any last things anyone would like to say?
Yes.
Anything
I would like to say how proud I am to have gotten at least 2 dinosaur-themed monsters into Bastard Hall. It may have been more. It's 2 at least. Also,
2 at least.
People who want to, I don't know how. There's a particular movie that I watched at the start of this that also crept in. It's called Blood on Satan's Claw, and there's stuff in there that is not safe for work. It's very R-rated. But it's one of the all-time great folk horror movies. So, yeah, folk horror is a big part of what's going on in Bastion Hall as well. So,
we got folk horror. We got skin.
All of the horror is in Bastard Hall. It's not a lot of it is inspired by Eastern European mythology, but not all. It's horror is universal.
Horror, yeah.
And in some cases, universal horror is like Dracula and Frankenstein and the Mummy and the Invisible Man and the Creature from the Black Lagoon.
Literal universal horror.
Wolfman. Yeah, literal.
All of who show up in Castlevania.
So yeah, we wanna thank everyone in our chat. We've got some lovely kind words scrolling in the chat right now, thanking us for a wonderful year, and we want to thank you all also for a wonderful year with us, playing our games, engaging in our forums, talking to us about our games, playing games literally with us at various conventions. We've had all these conventions this year too, where we've got to sit at your table and play with you as well. So thank you, all of you, for engaging with us as a group of gamers. We have had a wonderful year, and we will be back in January, but we will be back not the first week of January because it is quite literally the second day of the new year, and some people are still traveling at that point, but we will be back on January 9th, so it's the second Friday in January. So do meet us there. And Rue, what will we be? Can we give is this a spoiler? Are there any spoilers we can give about what we'll be talking about in Paizo Live, or
this is a spoiler, but I'm not gonna give any
don't
details.
Get too,
we will be talking about 2 remastered products and 1 new project.
Ooh.
On January's Paizo Live.
So you better come.
I gotta know what it is.
You gotta know what it is. You gotta tune in at 4 p.m. PT on January 9th, and we will be here. So thank you all so much for joining us for Paizo Live. We hope you had a great stream and a great Friday, and we hope you have a good weekend and the rest of your year. We will see you guys in 2026.
Woo!
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.